Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Once again, I do apologize for my voice, I'm still getting over a cold. Now, I had a whole topic planned for today, but a little piece of news dropped this morning, so I figured I'd talk about it instead. And that is, Nomos has just come out with a limited edition watch for Hodinkee. Now, of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. I am wearing the Omega Speedmaster limited edition Apollo 14 on a distressed leather strap. I haven't worn this in quite some time, and I've actually been missing wearing it. And I couldn't find it for a while. It was in a secondary watch box, but I knew it was in my house, but this morning I definitely felt like wearing it, so I pulled it out. Anyway, a Nomos limited edition for Hodinkee. That is quite a bit of news, even though this is the second limited edition watch that has come out for Hodinkee in the past 30 days. Zenith just came out with one, 25 pieces limited, and they sold in less than 24 hours. So what do I think? Well, I actually think it's great news. First of all, any new watch is a cool little launch, but particularly that watch manufacturers are now teaming up with Hodinkee, which is probably the largest non-traditional media out there for watches. I think it's great that watch manufacturers are starting to take notice to less traditional advertising arrangements, such as the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and are focusing on things like watch blogs. I know when I was managing an advertising budget, I really wanted to focus on new wave media, things like blogs, YouTube, Instagram. And you know what? Most of the watch companies really pushed back on this idea. And it's not a subject that is unfamiliar to my viewers, as I've spoken about it quite a few times. I think, especially in today's climate and the fact that, the watch industry is struggling, new buyers, younger buyers are much less attached to traditional print media, I think this is the future. So it's definitely great news to see brands like Zenith and today Nomos taking advantage of new media. It's a step in the future. It's a step in the right direction, and it's only normal that Hodinkee would get the first crack at it, seeing as they're the biggest. Now, I quite like Hodinkee as well. I think they make some great watch content, both video and written, but they're not the only ones in the space. I mean, there's a blog to watch, there's other YouTube channels, including myself, of course, and I'm not comparing myself to Hodinkee, I'm much smaller, but it's nice to see that watch manufacturers have kind of woken up to the 21st century, and it's not surprising that a brand like Nomos would be one of the first to do it. Nomos is very progressive, not only in their watch designs and in, bringing value to their customers, but they're a younger company. I feel like they're run with a younger brain. And, it makes sense for them to take advantage of something like this before the big boys like Rolex, Cartier, and some of the more established brands do it. But it's definitely a step in the right direction, and I think it's just a taste of things to come. So congratulations to both Hodinkee and to Nomos. Now, the watch in question is the Nomos Metro. Comes in a few variations, and it was originally released in 2014. This is 38.5 millimeters and features the hand-wound alpha movement, and it's closed caseback, unfortunately. It's a no-date variant. It's the simplest one, no power reserve, no date, which makes it very clean, which I like Nomos' very clean designs. I think they look great. And it's a German certified chronometer tested at the Glashütte Observatory owned by Wempe, so it's a very accurate movement. Now, the retail price on this is $2,560. And you know what? I think it's a decent price, even though it's slightly more expensive than I would have liked, considering that most Nomos open caseback watches go for this price, but I think you might be paying a little bit of a premium for the Hodinkee name. And it's limited to 100 pieces. The cool thing is, if you order one today, you get to pick it up in person at the Nomos Hodinkee event in New York. No doubt in my mind that this watch is going to sell out extremely quickly. Not to mention for all the Nomos fans out there to have something limited, but there's also a ton of Hodinkee fans out there. My only little bit of a complaint, and this is more with Hodinkee than with Nomos, is yes, they make great watch content, but I'm not a huge fan of their store. If you look at some of the stuff they sell, like their vintage watches, their straps, their books, they're extremely overpriced. I mean, they're selling standard NATO straps for $24. That's easily, $9 or $10 above market value, which is pretty large considering the price point. And their vintage watches are also definitely sold at a premium. And of course, they can get away with it. They're Hodinkee. So while I love Hodinkee for a lot of their content, I think their watch store is a little bit of a ripoff. And that might be a harsh word, but I definitely don't think it's good bang for buck. And, I'm happy to say that this Nomos is priced decently well. Maybe a couple $100 higher than it should be in my humble opinion, but it's not crazy like the rest of Hodinkee's store. So while I encourage the partnership, and I think it's definitely good for the industry, I don't particularly like encouraging anything actually bought from Hodinkee because I think their prices are pretty out of whack. So that's the one part of this deal that I'm not too sure about. Anyway, guys, another short little episode of Federico Talks Watches until I get over this cold, but I just wanted to give you my opinion on this Nomos Hodinkee partnership. So congratulations to both Nomos and Ben Clymer and his team at Hodinkee. I think it's a great little partnership. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and of course give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoy the content. A lot more to come soon, especially when I feel a little bit better. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Federico Talks Watches, link in the description. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.